No one today can doubt the importance of the Supreme Court of the United States of America. It touches every aspect of our lives and every part of our country. The Supreme Court is the third pillar of the federal government. It rebukes presidents and Congress. Its decisions are often in the news. Nominations of new members are always in the news. But it wasn't always so.
The status of the Supreme Court when Marshall joined in 1801 was unloved, disrespected, and often ignored.
He was the fourth Chief Justice. Nobody remembers the work of the first three.
Marshall took it and made it into something that was a co-equal branch.
It was under his leadership that the court became a significant player.
At its finest, the Supreme Court has been a bulwark against tyranny and popular passion. And John Marshall was the man who made the Supreme Court. John Marshall is the greatest judge in American history, critical to America's formation. But his formative experiences came not in court, but on the battlefield. Like his fellow founding fathers, he was shaped by the Revolution. His vision of America and of the need for a constitution, a vision to which he dedicated his life, was forged in the fires of war.
The two men in John Marshall's life that were formative were George Washington, his founding father,
Right.
and then his father.
So this is the county where John Marshall was born and grew up.
That's right. He's born in 1755, and this county is formed 4 years later. But this is the formative place of his youth.
So he's practically frontier, you'd say.
Not just practically frontier, I mean, it's actually frontier.
Okay.
This is the edge of civilization for British North America right now. As a man in his 70s reflecting back on his life, he says he grew up in a time when love of the Union and resistance to Great Britain, or the claims of Great Britain, were the inseparable inmates of the same bosom. He did. The importance of the war in shaping his outlook for the rest of his life cannot be underestimated.
So this is where he would have left to join the militia.
That's right. In 1775, 19-year-old, this is where he would have essentially strode into American history. To go in service of an idea, political liberty and self-government, this is a major decision that you're going to take up arms and become a traitor, which, if this fails, you will be hung. And then the Continental Army.
This is Valley Forge, the military camp where George Washington and his army suffered through the winter of 1778 after the British captured Philadelphia.
They didn't have supplies, they didn't have much food, and yet Marshall was the best-tempered man, his cabin mate would say. This is the worst experience in American history, and your cabin mate is saying you never complained and you were telling stories and just holding people together. You get a sense of what kind of person Marshall was. So you also just see a natural leader. He's also witnessing George Washington holding together the army at Valley Forge. It's a horrible, trying experience, one in which Marshall appreciates firsthand in his bones the weakness of the government at the time.
At Valley Forge, John Marshall saw a revolution hanging in the balance. The lessons he learned here would last a lifetime. What Marshall papers do you have?
Well, we have an account book of his.
Like many of his contemporaries, Marshall destroyed most of his personal papers before his death. But deep in the archives of William and Mary College in Williamsburg, Virginia, are letters and documents that offer an intimate view of the great Chief Justice throughout his lifetime.
Here's a document in John Marshall's hand when he was serving with the Virginia militia during the Revolution.
It shall be the duty of commanding officers of companies at every muster to inspect the public arms.
Yeah, so if the soldiers weren't up to snuff when it came to their inspections, they could be fined not exceeding $2.
All right.
It's clearly in his handwriting.